this is a complete red herring.
If your bank account was closed, probably wouldn't be a red herring for you.
It's a complete red herring. What's happening is that there are international rules on money laundering. And whether we have an inquiry into them, or whether you have a bank account with a bank that you don't like, those rules won't change. Those rules are there to protect us and to protect shareholders of banks against people who end up money laundering. Now, politically exposed people, there's a lot of them. There's 2 around this table. There's a lot of them. Banks must assure themselves that their sources of fund and wealth are real. So we don't know what the situation is with Farage, but one of the things banks have to do is they have to take account of what the news flow is around that person. Now, rightly or wrongly, a Labour backbencher accused Nigel Farage of taking £500,000 from the Russian government. Whether that's Farage denies it, whether it's true or not, the bank has to take account of it, and then just has to say, well, are we running a risk that we don't want to run? And that's really all that's going on. Probably the same thing with you.
I'm
probably
not
the
a politically exposed person.
Well,
so how is that happening with me?
We don't know. I don't know your personal case.
So you just said it's probably happening with me, but you don't know.
But the bank, they're taking a principled decision about the risks that they're running.
You have no idea how
I do know. I do, because I understand banking regulations. It's there in black and white. They have to follow their own regulations.
This is such an interesting transformation that's happened to people like you on the left.
People like me.
The left used to be about protecting the ordinary person from big corporations and big government and all of this stuff. That's what you used to believe in. And here you are, you're sitting and defending a banking corporation, having no idea why they made the decisions
I'm defending
that they made.
International banking regulation and law.
Well, it's a great cause.
That is there to protect you and me from scammers and money launderers.
I can just tell you, I don't feel very protected right now.
Let's hear from our politically exposed persons.
But I think the important point here is that this isn't just happening to the so-called exposed people. You made the point this is happening to a lot of people on very low incomes, and that's one of the points I've been keen to emphasize throughout this whole thing. My podcast has 1 million subscribers across different platforms. I can go out and get attention for this in the media. So can Nigel Farage. If you're someone who earns 20 grand and you said the wrong thing somewhere that someone didn't like and they closed your account, what are you going to do?
That wasn't the point I was making.
But it's the point I'm making.
Yeah, no, but you
flipped
it to what I said. The point I'm making is that there are people on low incomes that trying to get access to financial services is really hard. And I'd like to see the banks doing a little bit more than that on that. And that's really comes back to what Keir Starmer's been saying about access to all kinds of services for people on lower incomes.
Fine. My point is, I think it's very unwise and short-termist for people to say, well, as long as it's happening to Nigel Farage, this is OK. And I would remind you, whatever you personally may feel about Nigel Farage, I voted Remain in the Brexit referendum. Nigel Farage represents a hell of a lot of people in this country, and he represents
so many people that he's never been elected.
There's not really.
So many people love him that he's never won a single election.
He represents a hell of a lot more people than you, Paul.
Let them stand for Parliament.
Not that I particularly share his views.
Let them stand for Parliament.
That isn't my point. My point is, this is not about some wacko on the far end of the political spectrum having their bank account closed. This is someone who has a mainstream view in this country, and this is completely unacceptable to be happening to someone.
Is there a problem, though, that it took a public figure like Nigel Farage making a hoo-ha about this for it to kind of get any attention?
The irony of this is quite something. Literally 10 days ago, we changed the law, and it's going through Parliament now. So actually, we changed the law before Farage.
Do you think Nigel Farage was paying